This is my last video that I'm making pre-seeing the Demon Slayer movie. Everything from here on out will be post-Demon Slayer movie. Crazy. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and to another video, and today we're going to be discussing 3 reasons why you should go see Demon Slayer in theaters, specifically in theaters. Some of you might be casual fans, some of you might be diehard fans, and some of you might just not know what it is. And if you're one of those, this video is definitely for you. The 3 points in this video are going to be a little bit of a mix of subjective opinions and a lot of objective fact from the past to give you a good solid reason as to why I think you should do this. How it's going to work out better for you as a fan, for me as a fan, for Ufotable, for the voice actors, for Gotoge, everyone involved. But before we dive into today's video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on my points. Let's get right into it. Number 1, the Infinity Castle backdrop is designed for theaters. I'm not gonna lie, when I read this manga the first time and I saw them starting to battle within this Infinity Castle alternate dimension, my brain immediately went to, this needs to be made into a movie. The only problem was that the Infinity Castle arc is one of the longest arcs in the entire story, so my brain, pre them making the announcement that it's gonna be a trilogy, thought that it just wasn't gonna be possible. It needed to be a season because it was such a long arc, they wouldn't be able to fit it into a movie. And then Ufotable said, no, we got you. We'll make it into a trilogy. And I said, that's it. We have seen the Infinity Castle backdrop all the way since season 1 when we saw Muzan destroy the lower moons. And every time we've seen the Infinity Castle, even though it started out being an amazing animation spectacle, it has somehow gotten better. It is so clear that Ufotable has put an incredible amount of effort and love into the Infinity Castle every time they've had to animate it. But now we are in an arc where the entire thing takes place inside this alternate dimension. They're not going to take a step back and make it not as good quality as it's been in the scenes prior to this. In fact, it'll probably be even better. A backdrop as unique and interesting as the Infinity Castle hasn't been done before, and Ufotable's going to make sure that it is spectacular. That needs to be seen on the big screen. One of the most common complaints I see on the internet about Demon Slayer is that the backdrops of the battles get a little bit repetitive. Mostly because they're tied to one time of day, which is the night, because demons can't walk in sunlight, so it all has to take place at nighttime. But a lot of people complain that it's always either a forest or the middle of a town, which in Demon Slayer's defense is really the only 2 options outside of alternate dimensions, but I digress. If the repetitiveness of the battle backgrounds gets to you, look no further than the Infinity Castle, and look no further than watching it on the big screen. The big screen is going to allow you to see all the special detail that the animators put into the Infinity Castle, and it's not going to hit the same if you just watch it on a TV or your phone. In fact, I would highly suggest going to see this one in IMAX. You won't regret it, I'm sure. Reason number 2. This is an actual arc, not recap and a sneak preview of a new episode. For the last 2 years, we have gotten something called To the Swordsmith Village and To the Hashira Training. And both times when those came out in theaters, there was mass confusion as to what was happening. Because a lot of people are just casual fans of Demon Slayer, they didn't do a ton of research before booking their ticket and heading to the theater. And then when they got there, they were surprised to find out that half of it was recap, and the other half of it was just a sneak preview of the new season. This movie is 2.5 hours of brand new content. Will we get recap at the beginning? Maybe 30 seconds to a minute of it, but that's it. The rest of it's gonna be full new content. That alone should make you want to go and see this, especially if you were in the fandom for Mugen Train. I actually wasn't. I didn't get to see Mugen Train in theaters until recently when they replayed it in theaters. And boy, oh boy, am I glad I got to do that. The Infinity Castle arc is not just filler. It's not just a theatrical release of some episodes. It is a full-on milestone movie. This arc is incredibly important as it is the start of the final battle. We will find out who wins and who doesn't by the end of this arc. That's very important. And when you're going to see something as important as something like the Infinity Castle arc, it makes sense to go and see it in theaters. Experience the hype. Experience all the people in theaters maybe sniffling, laughing at the jokes. Surround sound for the OST that they always do well, for the voice acting that is always so amazing. This arc deserves to be viewed as a movie in the theaters. Reason number 3. Box office success. Box office success is going to work wonders for both you as a fan, for me as a fan, and for everyone involved in the production. A couple things that can happen when this is super successful in the box offices. They get a higher budget for the other 2 movies, meaning better animation if that's even possible at this point. Maybe higher pay for some of the staff members, and more. But on top of that, success in the box office could mean that the second 2 movies in this trilogy get a shorter delay for us foreign fans. For those of you who don't know, the delay between Mugen Train coming out in Japan and coming out in the US was 6 months. Now it is possible, since the movie came out in 2020 in Japan and 2021 in the US, that the pandemic did play a role in that delay. You probably aren't wrong. I'm sure that definitely had something to do with it taking so long for it to hit theaters in America. This delay was about 2 months, which means they've already shaved 4 months of delay since the last time they released a full movie. And think about how much smaller that delay can get should they see incredible success at the box office in foreign countries. I'm not gonna sit here and say I understand how everything works when it comes to productions and getting movies out to other countries, but I think it's safe to assume that in order for you to have a short delay in between movies, you need a really big budget for that. You need to have lots of people working through localization paperwork, dubbing, and all sorts of other things. Licensing. This is all things that they have to do prior to these movies coming out in countries outside of its original country, which of course in this case is Japan. I've seen a lot of people argue on the internet that they're gonna post leaks, they're gonna consume leaks because they should have just done a simultaneous world release, and I don't think it's that easy. In fact, there's only been a few Hollywood movies that have done simultaneous worldwide releases, and you can probably assume that Hollywood has a bigger budget than Japanese productions. So if this movie does well, while I don't think it's going to necessarily create an opportunity for a simultaneous release, I'm sure we all would love that, but at the end of the day, the Japanese people get the Japanese show before we do. That's fine, I don't care, they deserve it. But if that means my delay is 1 month instead of 2 months because the first one did so exceptionally well that they're able to budget a little bit more to get that stuff done before the movie comes out in Japan, then that's great. That's good news for both you and me, as it gives us more of an opportunity to see it before more and more leaks get out. To be a part of the initial hype of the movie, when in this case, it's been almost 2 months since it came out in Japan. Most people who got to see it have kind of moved on from it while we're about to have the experience of our lifetime, but now we don't get to share it with people because they're kind of done talking about it. If you want to be able to see a shorter delay and be able to see this movie even sooner than we did this year, then go and see it. The better this movie does, the way higher chances we have of a shorter delay and just better budgets for everyone involved. Again, some of these points are a bit subjective, but I do think it is important for you to go and see this movie if you are able. Go and see it in theaters, go and support it, because it is designed in a way where I think you're just not gonna get the full picture if you wait and see it on your TV screen or your phone screen or your computer screen, that sort of thing. If Ufotable decides to release it as a movie and not as a TV season, that means that they are fully invested in making this movie screen worthy. Mugen Train was already amazing. Imagine it now that they have done even greater things, gotten even higher budgets, and stepped up to the plate more and more with things like Entertainment District. Imagine what this movie will look like. Anyway, guys, go see Demon Slayer in theaters. It's not recap, it's not episodes, it's a full-on movie. And every animator, every storyboard artist, every director, every musician, every voice actor, every single person has poured their heart and soul into this project, and we need to support all of that work that they put into it. So go see it in theaters, whether you can only see it once, whether you can see it 5 times in the first week like I'm gonna be doing. Yes, I said, you heard that right. I'm gonna see it 5 times in 7 days. You don't have to be that dedicated like I am. I'm just weird. But go and see it, go and support them, find a friend who likes anime as well, make your sibling watch Demon Slayer so you can watch it with them. I don't care, just do what you can to go and see it. But that is gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. And I will see you all for my vlog of the day I go and see Demon Slayer, because that's next. Holy frick. All right, matane!